Hey gang, so someone asked me how did I get my first break, how did I get discovered? Kind of an interesting story, I'll make it quick. So I was working in advertising, I had a pretty good job, pretty decent pay, good job. I liked it, I didn't hate it, but what I didn't like was dealing with the compromises that we had to make for the clients. We would come up with some brilliant stuff and it would have worked, but all the layers of politics, yeah, no, that's not for me. I was destined to work for myself. Anyway, I had a client that was a high-end consumer electronics client, and a friend of mine was recording some demos at another guy's studio, and he had just casually mentioned, oh, I need such and such and such and such, and it happened to be the client that I was working for. So I said to the guy, I said, I'll tell you what, I'll get you those units that you want in exchange for some studio time, because I had been writing songs. In fact, the friend of mine that was recording with him, we were roommates at the time, and he was a very, very well-established rock and roller, had made tons of records, was very well respected. So I got him these consumer electronics items for his studio, and I went in and started cutting demos. Around the same time, I was playing some shows around New York City. They were pretty bad. I wasn't really ready for prime time yet, but they were getting progressively better. And long story short, I'm playing these shows, I'm working, I'm trying to get better, I'm getting a little bit better at each show, but not there yet. Anyway, this guy who had recorded these demos of my songs for me played them for some record label guy that he was working with. And this record label guy goes, oh, I love these, I want to sign this guy. And I was like, sign this guy? Like, what? What does that mean? I literally did not know. And before I knew it, I had my first record deal. Now, that record kind of blows. I mean, I'm not ashamed of it, but I had a long way to go. Let's just put it that way. However, miraculously, it must have been timing, and it was the great singer-songwriter scare of the early 90s, especially in New York. If you were walking down the street with a guitar, they would sign you. The record did pretty good. It did good enough to get me noticed by a major label and get signed. So that's the long-winded story of how I got my break, of how I got discovered. It was completely a fluke. I'm happy it happened. I'm very grateful, and the rest is history.